So, tell us a little bit about your story and your background.
So I was born in Taiwan, and all the way up until I was 5 years old, I was in Taiwan. I was brought up by my grandmother most of the time because my parents were busy at work. By the time I was 5 years old, our family decided to move to Shanghai because of my father's work related. So I moved to Shanghai and I started school there in international school. Back then I was in kindergarten. So that international school was an all English school and I had minimal contact with the Chinese language. So I lost out on the opportunity to learn my mother tongue, and my parents noticed that. So when I finished first grade, I went back to Taiwan to learn first grade again. So I had essentially 2 years of first grade, one in a fully English environment and the other in a fully Chinese environment. So after I finished the Chinese first grade, I went back to the same international school and continued my studies from second grade to fifth grade, by which my family decided to move to Canada. And I moved to Canada in fifth grade, continued my studies until I finished grade 9. My brother had finished high school by then, and my mother wanted to move back. So my brother went off to university and I went with my mother back to Shanghai. This time to a different international school, but again, fully English. I went through school until grade 11 and I hit some snags along the way, and that led me to take a gap year and go to the army in Taiwan. So from Shanghai I went to Taiwan for the army, and I was there for a year, and when I came back out I was a year behind other people. So I wanted a way to kind of catch up, and I heard that in Canada there was this school that had a trimester based system that allowed me to finish high school faster than a regular program. It focused on essential courses and kind of omitted all the quote-unquote unnecessary curriculums. So I attended that school and I graduated a year, still a semester behind my peers, but I was successful in applying for the university I wanted, and I got in. So now I'm in third year at UBC. And my peers are all fourth year and about to graduate. But I feel lucky that even though I hit all these snags along the way, I was still able to not fall so far behind my peers.
No, that's very, you had a lot going on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, why did you and your family decide on Vancouver specifically?
Well, it was actually a debate between Vancouver and New Zealand, South Island to be specific, mostly because of the environment and the climate. South Island and Vancouver are both incredible places to live in terms of just the greenery and the level of living. Our neighbors actually immigrated a long time ago, and I think they may have convinced my parents that way.
What are your current ambitions, and do you consider Canada a good environment for you to achieve and fulfill those life goals?
I believe Canada has a lot of potential in my future career, but I don't want to keep my doors so narrow. So I wouldn't specifically say that I would want to ultimately stay here, but if no better kind of opportunities show up, I think it outweighs many other places I have in mind. But if the job opportunity it's so great, I may choose to leave Vancouver.
My name is Yuji Kochi and I'm from Japan, and I've been here for just half a year, 6 months, and I'm here on the working holiday visa. So at first I wanted to come here as an exchange student, but I couldn't because my GPA is too low, terrible, so I couldn't. But my friends told me maybe you can come as a working holiday visa. So I was searching for something like countries, and I decided, oh yeah, Canada is a very good place because without going to many countries, we can learn a lot of cultures or like religion, or I think Canada is very good place to experience like many cultures, or yeah, so people thinking.
Okay, so do you miss your home country?
Yes. This Japanese food is, I think Japanese food is best in the world. So of course we can eat here Japanese food, but real Japanese food is a lot more delicious than here, I think.
So what are your future plans? Are you going to stay in Vancouver, or do you want to go back home?
I gotta go back home to Japan because actually I have 1.5 years left in Japan as a student. So anyway, I gotta go back to Japan, and then maybe I'm gonna get a job in Japan, and I want to get Japanese job, and I want to sell Japanese like merchandise for other countries. And, like, yeah.
I'm from my hometown is called Nagano in Japan, and when I was a kid, I can say that I was the active boy. I enjoy playing sports. I enjoy studying, I can say, and I enjoy music, and I like making jokes, and I have a lot of friends. But I lost something when I was a teenager, and then when I was in high school, I was very quiet. I regret that I studied too much when I was in high school. The reason I came to Vancouver is when I was in university. Actually, I went to the university where Shinya-kun also go. And when I was in the lab, my professor, my boss, he knew the professor here in UBC. So he introduced me to him. So this is the reason I came to Vancouver. But I think the real reason is actually I became Christian after I came here. After I came to Vancouver. So I believe that God led me to here. I feel that this is a real reason why I came here. Honestly speaking, I don't have any ambition right now. I used to have ambition, like many people encourage other people or kids to to get high status or to become rich. But now I try to let this kind of thinking go away. And I can say that my ambition is to try to do what God asking me to do. I can say that this is my ambition. I don't have any plan, future plan. I just live day by day. I just try to do what God asks me to do. So I am not sure whether I'm gonna stay here for a while, or if God asks me to go somewhere, I try to go to the place where God asks me to do.
My name is Jeff, and I was born in South Korea. I immigrated to Vancouver when I was in grade 4 with my mom and my younger sister. My dad had stayed in Korea because of work, and he would visit whenever he could, but it was just my mother and my sister and I growing up in Vancouver for the first period of time when we immigrated. Around the time I entered grade 10, my family as a whole agreed that it would be in the best interest for all of us if we moved back to Korea to live with my dad. Once again, as a whole family, before myself and my younger sister moved on to university and found independence. My childhood was filled with a lot of moving around. So even when we were in Korea before the whole immigration, I would be moving from school to school very often. My parents' lifestyle, I guess. And with that were pros and cons, but I like to see the positive things that I got out of it, which was which has a lot to do with my personality now, where I'm sociable and easy to get along with pretty much anyone. And that was also the case when I was in Vancouver, which resulted in us moving from Surrey to Vancouver West. Definitely more than just a couple times from different homes. I was pretty young back then to not know the reasons behind things, and so my parents were the decision makers for this move to Vancouver. But if I were to speak on behalf of my parents, I would say they were looking for a place of opportunity to learn English in a safe environment where it's favorable for a Korean immigrant, I guess, because Vancouver, I believe, was one of the places that were sought after by Korean immigrants back in the days, and I'm sure it is the same case now. My ambitions, the short-term ambitions are to graduate at the end of this month, actually, and get my degree. Part of my ambition is with pursuing a career with physiotherapy, which is directly related to the undergraduate program that I'm completing now. But a part of me also wants to pursue something completely different, maybe in the field of business or entrepreneurship, or having my own, or owning and running my own business. But right now, I just want to find something that would make me happy. I believe Canada is one of the greatest countries that provide opportunities for young and upcoming graduates.
Do you ever miss your home country?
I do, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I try to visit once a year, especially during summer times when I'm not in school. My family is still back there, so Korea is somewhere that I will always miss and will always not get enough of.
Thank you guys for joining this podcast. If you guys could quickly go around and introduce yourselves. From Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff, and I was born in South Korea, and I immigrated to Vancouver when I was in grade 4, and I've been living here ever since.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Michael, and I am from Taiwan originally. I am half Korean, but I don't know how to speak Korean. I immigrated to Canada when in grade 5, and I moved around prior and after, but now I'm here at UBC.
Hi, I'm Yuji, and I'm from Japan, and I've been here since last September, and I gotta go back to Japan again this September. So, and I'm here on the working holiday visa. Yeah, thanks.
Hello. My name is Junji, and I'm from Japan, same as Yuji. And I came here in 1998. So, and since then I'm here.
Yunji, I hear that you're on a working holiday.
Yeah.
Which location do you work?
It's like Jericho Beach. Do you know, like
Oh, okay.
near the Kitsan Beach?
Oh, nice. What do you do there?
Just serving food or like setting the venue.
Right.
Something
Right.
like that.
Okay. Did you like face any difficulties while you were working?
Yeah, sure,
terms
of
of
course. Language is the very most difficult for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So the people working there is very like talkative person and
Right,
like
right.
very fluent. So I'm the
Yeah.
weakest. How can I say like?
Yeah.
So that's a tough situation for me.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, they're very kind. So
Yeah. Do you have any other coworkers that are also on working holidays, or?
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Michael, I hear that you came back from the army. How was it like? What was it like catching up in terms of like timeline, in terms of catching up with your peers and stuff like that? Your overall experience.
So the Taiwanese army specifically isn't that long. It's only about 4 months
Oh,
for me
okay.
at least.
Oh, nice.
It varies between ages, and that's just what I was put into. So there wasn't much of a gap, although I was still a year behind my peers. Catching up wise, I didn't feel as if I was left out.
Oh, okay.
Being 1 year apart from my peers, I could still,
Right.
communicate with them and interact with them.
Nice. Junji, are you
Yes.
also on a working visa?
I came here as the
Oh, okay.
working.
What did you initially do?
I came here UBC.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I came
very
here
nice.
as the researcher.
Oh, very cool. What did you research?
I research life. It's a joke. Yeah, I research the chemistry. My major was chemistry, but I'm doing a totally different things right now.
Jeff, since you are from Korea and you went back and forth from Vancouver to Korea often, in terms of like media, do you see any differences between Korea pop culture and here?
Quite a bit, yes. Just, I mean, if you start with pop culture, I think the differences are decreasing. I feel like a lot of the Korean pop star or pop content are trying to catch up with the Western content in terms of well, in almost every sense. And so I think their differences are becoming less and less. I feel like it's getting a lot similar than different.
Do you guys still feel influenced by your country of origin, or do you feel as if you're more Canadian or less Canadian through your experiences here in your progression from initially coming to now? All of you.
Well, the older I get, I feel more inclined to embrace both cultures actually. So I wouldn't say I'm feeling less Korean or more Canadian just because I'm here. I always believe that the origin of my being is definitely something I shouldn't forget. Therefore, I try to embrace it as much as I can. That becomes easy when the Korean culture is very enjoyable to me still. I enjoy Korean food on a daily basis. as well as going back to Korea to live in that culture, maybe once a year to visit my family. And that goes with my family being in Korea. It's a big part of my life. Therefore, I wouldn't say I'm losing any Koreanness by being here. At the same time, studying and working in Vancouver allows me to embrace the Canadian part of myself as well. And therefore, I would say it's an increase in both part of my identity.
I try not to care about my nationality. And my big difference before I come here, after I come here, is I became Christian. So I try not to think about nationality. But it's true that I'm getting a good influence from the culture here, because I feel that the Canadian culture is more influenced by the kind of Christianity. And I still struggling that the kind of habit I had when I was in Japan. So I try to kind of remind myself that I have a kind of sinful part, and to keep learning. And of course, there are good things in Japanese culture too. There are so many values, not only Canadian but also Korean, Taiwanese, and from other places. So I'm enjoying that learning from these kind of individual cultures. So that's why I'm enjoying staying here.
I mean, I just came here 6 months ago, so I don't know where actually. But the surprising thing is Canada is immigrant country, right? So there are so many different nationalities, and then they share culture or or something, and then people don't care where they come from, or so it's very big for me, because Japan is they are just Japanese or something tourists or just few foreigners. So actually we don't share, we don't know other countries, so just how can I say, this country is very advanced immigrant country, I think.
I feel like I am in a special position where I moved a lot during my life. The people around me usually classify themselves as international, and to me that's a label for people that don't really have a group of people that stay in one place. And why I say that is because I've been to many international schools in my life, and the people I meet there, I usually don't meet again for a very long time, if not ever. And that's because they also move around. They go from China to the U.S. Or to Europe, and we never get to see them again. And usually these people are expats or what they call workers at different countries, and that's kind of what I am, where I don't really settle down in one place, and so I'd classify myself as international.
Yuji, you mentioned that you worked in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Between the dining culture back in Japan versus in Vancouver, do you have any preferences in terms of the dining culture? Were you surprised by Vancouver?
Tip.
Tips.
We hear maybe additional tip, right?
Yeah.
So you can get more 300, 400 if you work hard.
Yes.
So I love it.
Did you find diners to be more pleasant to service here
Oh,
versus
yeah.
in Japan?
Here, more than Japan, the server can talk a lot, right? I can say
Right.
very kind of very nice to them.
Right, it's a lot more
yeah,
interaction.
good relationship. Like in Japan, just serving food and just enjoy something like
I
that. But
see.
you know, this is very good communication. We're having very good communication here.
Have you guys changed your habits at all, moving around from place to place? Coming to see your habits changing in Korea and Canada, you know.
I would say just basic etiquette. There's slightly different standards for correct etiquette. For example, I learned that in Vancouver it's rude to raise your hand at the servers, whereas in Korea, where I'm from, that's totally acceptable. So there's small things like that I had to adjust, but it comes by experience or someone else helping you. So small things like that. And driving habits. There's a huge difference in driving etiquette from Korea and Vancouver, so you just have to adjust as you go.
Which is worse?
Or better. Pardon me?
Which is worse or better?
I would say, well, that's very subjective, but for the well-being of everyone, it would be a lot better here. Yeah, it's a lot better here. It's a lot more fun to drive in Korea, but it's a lot safer here.
I totally agree with everything you said. As well, I feel that the whole lifestyle of has changed for me because in Asia the party doesn't end when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for here. But, all the stores closes at 6. So yeah, you're kind of forced to either make your own party happen or you just gotta call it in for the night early.
You've been here the longest, I guess, out of all of them. Have you seen your habits change or Canadian values change over the course that you've been here?
I think it changed a lot. I think so. I don't know how it changed, but I hope though. I hope I become a better person during this process. And then I become. I don't know how you guys feel about me, but I become less serious. I think compared to before.
Would you say that Vancouver welcomes more of an open mindset in terms of like trying out different things, like talking to different types of people compared to Asia?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. The one things I like about the culture here were kind of is welcoming the other cultures and other people. I don't think Asia country is ready for doing this kind of things yet, unfortunately. So I think we can learn about this kind of spirit.
Actually, this is not about our Vancouver culture, but I think I come to cook myself. Like I come to work out. It's more than Japan, so that's better for me. That's good for me.
So it allowed you to develop your own self and become independent.
Three of you have come here for education in general, and we kind of wanted to talk about, I guess, our values from coming from Asian countries, wanting a better education. So how do you see that as a way for us wanting to both learn from the West, but also staying semi-independent, I guess? Care to comment?
For me, I actually thought about this question a lot for, I guess, maybe looking too far forward, but I feel that if I were to have kids, I'd like them to be immersed in both educational cultures, where I feel that Asian educational culture kind of embraces hard work and a lot of time spent kind of grinding through the workbook, while in the Western educational culture, it's more about the experience, more about learning to communicate and learning life skills. That's how I feel. So it's like I said, there's positive values to either cultures, but by combining both, I feel it might be the best. So.
To wrap it up, would you guys say that having been here for different periods of time, do you ever miss home?
I try to visit once a year, especially because my family is back there, and I'm sure a lot of your families are back there as well. So I try to visit, and that's my way of dealing with the fact that I miss it a lot. So, you guys?
For me, I don't really have a place where I can definitely call home, because I move a lot around. So home is where my friends are, where my family is at that particular moment.
Interesting.
I just came,
I want to stay a little longer.
Yes, I miss the food and I miss my friends and family. But at the same time, I try not to look back to my origin.
Yeah.
So in this way, I don't know. I really miss or not.
Having been here for a long time, do you guys ever think that you'll come to see Canada as home? And what would it take for Canada to be viewed as home for you guys?
Oh,
I already consider it home, so
Yeah.
I consider both. I consider both sides equally home.
Okay.
So it's already been accepted.
I don't know here is a home or not. So if you allow me to say it in a religious way, just follow what God is asking me to go. So this is a home. So if God allow me to stay here for a long time, then this is a home. But if God leads me to the other place, then that is a home. So, but so far I'm enjoying staying here.
This is it's a nice place.
Yeah.
Good weather, good food, good people.
Yeah.
I like to make it my home, but I don't know where my career might take me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming and joining this podcast.